Coach Gunderson, great to see you, my friend. Been a long time, right? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think we've spoken in a long while. I mean, you look younger. I mean, if that helps, Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for taking the
Yeah.
time. Always, as
Yeah.
always, very appreciative.
Yeah. Thanks for reaching out.
All right, so I want to get your perspective on the upcoming season. I'm not going to dwell on the 2024 just because we're well beyond that. But so I'll ask you, with a month-ish, like a
Yeah.
month and a
Yeah.
couple days, I would think, right? Like,
August 16th, we start
yeah.
up. So,
All
yeah.
right, so I'll report. I'm good to report on the 16th. So a month out, what's your frame of mind? What's your thinking? What is the staff's impression of sort of how the year is looking?
Yeah. I mean, we approach it like any other year we're touching base with our players to make sure they're doing the right things to get themselves ready for the season. Getting things in line here on campus with the gear and just the equipment and the field maintenance and all that stuff. So, but yeah, no, we're excited. This is going to be a new, I wouldn't say chapter, but kind of, because with COVID and stuff like that, with last year, that was kind of the last year of that. So you kind of graduate two classes in one, if you think about it.
Yeah.
We had a couple fifth years stick around. So, had some players in those that just graduated within their COVID year and slash seniors this past May, and they played a lot of minutes for us. So got a kind of a new era ish of CNU soccer, and we're excited. We got a good group coming in. Still good returners coming back. So yeah, we're looking forward to the new challenge and again approaching it like any other season, preparing and you know
Yeah.
taking it game by game.
Ha- where? This is a loaded question. Where do you think the goals are going to come from?
Well, Hannah Heaton's still back,
Nice.
so yeah, which is a great player to have
Okay.
back.
Oh, the question's
Uh,
answered. You don't have to move.
so she's good for a handful of goals,
Yeah.
but it may be by more of a committee,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally fine. And again, it may just look a little different, but when this happens every year, when players leave and come and go,
Mm-hmm.
other players step up. So again, we're excited to see there's some young players that are really good that, got a handful of minutes last year that are hopefully stepping up into bigger roles this fall. We had a great spring,
Mm-hmm.
um, and again, a lot of players stepped up in that spring. So hopefully we can continue that trend this fall.
Are you? So you guys are kind of unique, not unique, but you are kind of unique in sort of you do have good exposure for anyone who might transfer. Are you seeing any? Are you getting any
Yeah, not
transfers in?
not really on our end. And the
Mm-hmm.
way I kind of use the transfer portal is if I had previous, like,
Experience. Yeah.
it's like
You mentioned
like
that before. Yeah.
if I had reached out to them and we went through the recruiting process
Mm.
previously, and they may have chose somewhere else. That's kind of how I've been navigating the transfer portal. We did get one.
Mm-hmm.
She came from VCU, but she again it was a player that I had recruited before
Right.
she chose that school, and then things didn't work out. So she came in this spring. So we had her this spring. So we'll have her this fall,
Yeah.
which will be good.
Yeah. Do you have any question marks right now? Like, is there
Uh,
anything where you're like, oh my gosh, we got to answer, we got to figure that out in the 10 days we have to get ready for their first game?
I mean, a little bit and not really, just because I think we have, I mean, good players, or actually, I know we have players that can handle kind of the challenge that's going to be presented. Because we lost Rihanna Slater and
Mm-hmm.
Nia Savage in the back, two players that have been, key starters
Rocks.
for us throughout. Exactly.
Rocks.
So they're gone. So now kind of replacing them, or again, somebody else stepping into those roles right away. So there's a little bit of a question mark. It's kind of in the back line, but everything else is pretty solid. And But we have players who I think can handle it, and so um, yeah, we'll get them ready.
What game do you have circled on the calendar? Talk about loaded, because now everyone who is not picked is like, damn
It's a
them, we're gonna
Yeah,
get
no,
them.
it's another tough schedule.
Yeah.
Especially in the last 4 years, we've been in kind of the top 10 of strength of schedules. And that's kind of where we want to be year in and year out. So I was just looking at that before we jumped on the call. Um, and our SID wrote out an article about the schedule, and we have three teams that made the NCAA tournament this past year that we're playing, which is Methodist, Mount St. Joseph's, and WNL. But then you still have in the mix of Virginia Wesleyan, Swarthmore, Mary Wash,
Mary
which have
Hardin Baylor.
Mary
Like,
Hardin Baylor. Yeah, no, there's some really good teams.
yeah.
Um, Again, that we're playing this year. St. Benedict's, they're always a tough kind of opponent, kind of early on in the year. So this will be, I think, our third time playing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, they always are prepared, ready to go come to the beginning of the season. Yeah, again, Roanoke's in there in the
Yeah.
mix. So it's a tough overall schedule. Again, the trip to Ohio to play Case Western and Ohio Wesleyan, that should be a fun one. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how we always look at creating a
Yeah.
schedule is how can we make the best schedule that's going to prepare us for later on in the season. And again, there's you name a team on our list that we have this year, it's going to challenge us, which is what we want.
Iron sharpens iron, right? Like, you're
Yeah,
not,
for sure.
if you want to get as far as you have in the past, right? You can't, I hate to say it, you cannot not play teams like
Yep.
that are really going to push you, because it doesn't work that way anymore.
Yep.
Um, do do you? I'm always curious. I've never asked this before, but especially with the new MPI score
Hmm.
and how that's done, are do you take that into consideration, or are you looking at, I want my preseason to prep, or my preseason, my out of conference to prep me for conference, and then conference preps me for the NCAA's? Or are you looking at it
Yeah.
any?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it, but in our conference, it's a unique conference. So,
Yeah.
I honestly think we're as an independent. So because I have to find 15, 16 games
Yeah.
every year. So because we don't play a regular season conference
Mm-hmm.
schedule, so
Yeah.
MPI does come into play with it, and how we schedule. But again, I want to prepare us for down the line. And
Yeah.
so, finding teams that, are going to challenge us. And again, let's make it happen and figure it out and how we can fit them in and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it does come into play a little bit. But for me, it's, again, create the best schedule that's going to help us down the line.
I know this is another loaded question. I apologize. I really don't apologize, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Hit me.
sorry that I'm asking this question, because it is kind of loaded. Is there a team that you're playing? It, is there a team that you play, whether it's like your conference, right? But you don't play the conference. You sort of meet at the end and sort of play up that way.
Yeah.
That I should be looking at, that I wouldn't necessarily normally look at? Like, is
In
there
our, in
somebody
our,
you
in the
think
coast to
is,
coast.
yeah, yeah, let's say coast to
Yeah.
coast.
I mean, Mary Wash is a tough opponent,
Mm-hmm.
and Scott does a great job there. And so that, I mean, they're always, they're gonna battle and compete. Santa
Mm-hmm.
Cruz, I mean, that's who
Yeah.
beat us in the conference championship this year. They're the same way. I mean, they're a good side as well. So they're somebody who, again, they return a lot of their players too. So
Mm-hmm.
they should have another good year this fall.
Mm-hmm.
And Salisbury, they're always tough as well. And those are kind of been the four, like us included, four
Mm-hmm.
kind of teams in the conference.
Right.
But Santa Cruz is probably one to kind of look out for,
Yeah.
especially since they return a lot of their players.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Wash returns a lot of their players too.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that way. Like normally, right, is by the way it's designed, right? You start to focus in on the teams and the top teams, and that's not a bad thing. Like they're
Yeah,
largely, you can pick them out. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
can
for
rattle
sure.
them off. And so now I'm trying to think, what's that next level? Those teams that they might be close and they just need that stuff in soccer that just sort of propels them to that next level. And I'm intrigued by
Yeah,
those
yeah.
guys. I think I reached out to the Banana Slugs. Uh, yeah, I'll have to try again. But what? I mean, you won a national championship what 3 years ago?
In 2021,
20,
so this will be
2020, yeah, 4 years. That
4 years ago.
like how would you say how would you say coming from the pinnacle there? How would you say the years after? Like how do you how do you frame it in your mind? How you think you've done? How the program has been? And this might be a loaded question. Like, is there something different, or did something change after you won the national championship that has I don't want to say made it harder or over the
Um,
last 3 years? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it's a different landscape because, um, and we frequently talk about this within the team because everybody's kind of goal is to kind of get to the top.
Yeah,
And you get there, and then that's to a lot of programs uncharted territory. So you get
yeah,
to the top, then the next year comes because you've done what every team wants to do is finish
yeah.
in the season number one. Um, and so like just kind of talking through it, 22. Again, we returned a lot of our players from the previous team that made it
Mm-hmm.
to the national championship. So everybody's like, all right, cool. We got it, the same kind of team. We're going to make it there and it's going to be smooth sailing, blah, blah, blah. Well, in reality, it isn't because it's a lot harder to stay on top,
Yeah,
because everybody's trying to, it doesn't matter who it is. You're going
yeah,
to get the best game from whomever you're playing. And um, so honestly, I learned a lot that year, and our staff did, because we kind of didn't really talk about it. We kind of let it go, and we did really well. Like we kept winning, we
yeah.
kept whatever squeaking by, and we made it to the Elite Eight that year.
Mm-hmm.
Lost in penalty kicks, and so like the season ends, and everybody's disappointed. But in reality, making the Elite Eight
Yeah, yeah,
is really awesome.
yeah.
23 comes around, same thing. The same trend starts to happen. It's like, okay, we wanted to get back to, national Final
Advance.
Four
Yeah.
and everything. And we ended up talking about it more frequently in 23, just about like the fear of losing and stuff like that, and kind of breaking it down a bit more with the team. And
Mm-hmm.
me, myself, and my staff being, again, a little bit more vulnerable about it as well, and just giving our side of it, and that worked well. The team, again, after having that conversation, started playing with more freedom, and again, we looked more like ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, we lose again in
Penalty kicks.
penalty kicks in the Elite Eight as well. So another great season, and then same thing in 24. We talked about it a little bit more frequently, laid it out there, and we made the Final Four this year. So yeah, there were some growing pains with it for sure, because again, a lot of those players wanted to get back there, and of
Yeah,
course, right, because that's the goal, and um, kind of what we want to achieve year in and year out is compete for national
yeah.
championships. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the thought process behind it, and how we've kind of managed it a little bit. And then now this group coming in next fall, none of them have won a national championship.
That's a good point, right? Like
So it's a
nobody's won.
different
Yeah.
it's a different kind. It'll be a different kind of error or
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Yeah.
of CNU women's soccer, like I mentioned before,
Yeah.
of what this looks like. So it's almost like starting more hungry again.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
we gotta.
yeah,
None of you have tasted it, so
yeah,
let's put in the work and continue to
yeah,
try to achieve that.
yeah. You know, I think you allude to something that I think is not a lot of people really think about, like winning a national championship. Obviously, in any sport, but it is extremely difficult. Like I'm convinced everything has to sort of fall into place for you at different points in the season, right?
Yeah,
Like I said, you have to play a tough schedule to basically survive in the tournament, and you have to get through that schedule, and then you have to go into right, and then you got to
yeah.
do it
No,
all over
it's
again.
it's
You
it's
know, it
hard.
gets
It's
harder
hard.
and harder and harder, and then and then it becomes almost doubly hard to repeat it
Hmm.
because you're not starting from scratch. Like you said, you're not hungry anymore. Now you got not hungry. You're hungry, but you have a target on your back. Everyone's a lot hungrier to beat the defending national champion, right?
Hmm.
And it, it's an interesting. It's just interesting, like how difficult it really is. It really is just not. And like I said, you need things, including luck, right? Like you need things to ball to bounce your way.
Yeah,
And I just
yeah.
think
It's not easy for sure.
yeah. How's your freshman? How's your incoming class look? Like,
Yeah, good. I mean,
yeah,
again, it's kind of like any other class that we've kind of recruited. Is they're good players. They come from good programs, and um, they're still freshmen. So how do they transition to the college environment
yeah,
and speed of play and all that?
yeah,
But yeah, there's some good ones in there, and hopefully they can hit the ground running and get after it right away. So yeah, we're excited about them though.
yeah.
It
Do you
should be fun.
do you think they'll get like? Do you anticipate, or do you have in your mind the idea that they'll get playing time?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our philosophy here is best player plays.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a freshman, great. If it's a senior, great. Whatever's going to give our team the best chance to
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
Is how we look at it, and it's a competition. So you got to show up and compete. But I do think again, there's more opportunities than they have been in like the last
mm-hmm.
3 or 4 years, just because again, some of those
Yeah.
players that kind of hit
Cleared
the
out.
ground,
Yeah.
yeah, they hit the ground running as freshmen,
Mm-hmm.
and so like those players were freshmen at one point. So
Yeah.
now it's another opportunity for
Mm-hmm.
freshmen maybe to solidify kind of that
Yeah.
spot. So yeah, I mean that it could happen. I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
the nature of it.
Yeah. Yeah. How many are coming in?
We have 8.
8.
Hmm.
Um, are they mostly? Are you still since the national championship? Are you still mostly recruiting from Virginia, or has that sort of opened up a little bit more because now? Hate not to
Yeah,
say
I
that you're on
mean
the
it's a
radar,
little,
but now you're like, hey, you're on the
yeah,
radar. Look at those
yeah.
guys.
A little bit. Still mainly Virginia players, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a handful of out of state players. Like we have a kid from California, which is our first player from California we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
However, her story is kind of unique. Her father was stationed over in Norfolk and actually lived in Newport News when she was born. So
Uh-huh.
she does have some sort of connection
A
to Newport
connection.
News.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how
That's
that
cheating.
all.
That's cheating.
So that kind of how and then she
Uh
looked up like again the top teams, and we were up there,
yeah.
and her dad's like, "Oh, that's where we lived," and so
Yeah.
it kind of kickstarted the process a little bit
Uh
with
huh.
that. So most of them again, kind of East Coast players, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just we are getting, I guess, more interest from out of state
Yeah.
players.
Has your for the same reason has your like I'll just say your player pool expanded or the quality of your player pool uh, gotten better? That's a
Uh,
dumb question. I would,
yeah,
like
yes and no.
it
I
was
mean, it's
terrible
still
before and now
yeah.
it's just awesome, right? Like what?
Yes and no. I mean, we're still kind of after the same type of players
Yeah.
and that play in the similar environments that are, previous players that have had
Mm-hmm.
success with our program. And Virginia has a lot of great
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah.
So we just kind of have a unique situation with that. And then now, again, occasionally some out of state players come on the radar. Like we have a kid from Maryland, we have a kid from North Carolina in
Yeah.
our the freshman class coming in, and that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Hey, this if if somebody's watching this, there's a few people I hope will watch, but if somebody's watching this and is like, huh, Christopher Newport, I would great program, great coach, like what is it that you would say to that player? Like, look, you have to obviously be honest with yourself about your ability, but you also have to bring something to the team. What is that something?
Yeah, I mean, players impact the team differently. And that's kind of what I tell recruits is how do you impact the game? What stands out and how you play?
Mm,
Because there's sometimes it could be tools that you could utilize in our program.
mm,
So, can you score goals? Like that's a simple one, but
yeah,
I mean, who's not going to take a goal scorer?
yeah,
Are you, really, really fast? That could be utilized if there's, some soccer behind it as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
How tough are you?
yeah,
I mean, that's a one of our kind of foundations of our program is you got to compete
yeah,
and you got to be willing to work as hard as you can. That's the bare minimum, and then soccer stuff will kind of take care of itself after that.
yeah,
So those are kind of foundation and kind of principles,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
with players that we look for.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you left-footed? I mean, and can you, because that you don't see too many left-footed
Yeah,
players. So, yeah, you can utilize that in a different way. Do you have, big range of play? Same
yeah,
thing. It's like, so how do you impact the game is kind of how we always talk about it
yeah,
with recruits and players, and do that to your highest standard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would guess if if you're not creating an impact, or I do think the toughness part, you it takes a special kind of person, and it's not so much toughness on game day; it's toughness day in and day out.
Yep,
That I gotta believe is like critical because if they start to wilt the end of September, like what good are they as to the
yeah.
team, right? I
I
just
mean, there's a ton of good players out there,
yeah,
that can keep the ball, can play side to side,
yeah,
and things like that. But again, how effective is that to, win games?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
It
don't I
can it can be if it's done in the right way,
yeah,
but
yeah. I do think we don't talk enough about the like what it means to impact a game. Like I think I do think there's a lot of great ball players, but I also think there's a lot of inconsequential ball players,
mhm.
right? Where they're you can put them there and get something out of them. You could put the same, you could put somebody else and you'll get the same thing out of them, and
Yep,
they're just not doing something where the game becomes different because they're in that position.
for sure.
All right, you can't pick yourself. You cannot pick yourself. Again, another loaded question. I'm sorry. I'm like in a weird mood, and I'm just taking it out on you. Who's going to win the national championship this year?
Oh gosh.
Who do
Um,
you, if you look out, like
that's alert. That is loaded right there.
I tell I
There's a
know you're
lot of
so hating. Like you're
there's
just
a
gonna be like, I'm not speaking to that guy for another 3 years. Like,
there's a there's a lot of teams.
yeah,
I mean, Wash U, they still have a lot of returning players. And when we played them this past year, they were great. They did graduate a handful of players, but they return a lot of
yeah,
their attacking players.
yeah,
Hopkins was great. NYU, I watched them when they were down here. They were great as well.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean Emory. I thought we played Emory last year. We played them
Mm-hmm.
at a neutral site game, and I went up to Sue after the game. I'm like, "You guys are great."
Yeah, yeah.
And like she didn't, she kind of maybe was taken aback by it, but I'm
Uh-huh.
like they had a lot of young players as well. So I think Emory can be good as well again this year.
Mm.
I mean the Nescacks, like
Yeah.
Amherst, they've been up there pretty frequently. William Smith, that'll be interesting to see what happens with them with
Mm-hmm.
Alisson leaving.
Yeah.
But they have a core foundation there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean Carnegie Mellon's always good. So I mean
Yeah.
it's kind of like you look at the top, 15 in the country that have been there pretty consistently, and you could draw one of them and be like, "Yep, you're good, you're in," and
Yeah.
have a good shot. So, I mean, I think the talent for Division 3 overall is just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah. I just noticed that in my just from when I started watching 4 years ago to now. The soccer's gotten better. In that short period of time, right?
Yeah,
I just
yeah. I mean, even in the last 4 years.
yeah.
Like we've had great success and seen the top teams pretty consistently,
Mm-hmm.
and even this past year I'm looking watching these other teams. I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
they're really really good.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah.
Was Washu? Would you say Washu was the best team you played last year? Who was the best?
WashU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we played Emory and we played Hopkins. I mean
Yeah.
those would be probably three top teams that we
Top
played.
played. Yeah.
Hmm.
They I they were as dominant a team as I think I've watched.
Yeah,
Like just you weren't getting them by them. Like they were just so good, so good. And I think that's a few years right in the making. I think
for
that's
sure.
people forget right. Like I don't think that was. I don't
Just
think that was a
overnight.
surprise, right?
Well,
It
they
wasn't
made it.
overnight.
They made it to
Yeah,
they lost in the championship the year before.
championship. Yeah, and they were still good then, and it was just maybe that's what it took.
Oh, for sure. They
You know,
they definitely had a different
yeah,
energy coming into the game against
yeah,
us,
yeah,
and I could feel it. Um, Again, that they were like, okay, we kind of maybe messed up the year before, and
yeah,
now it's like we got to take care of
yeah,
business, kind of.
yeah, 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 yeah. You could see him play that way. Any game I watched, I was just like, wow, they chip on the shoulder. I don't know if it's
Mm,
the right way to say it, but it was very much felt that way. Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
just out
they
on
were.
vengeance, like we want revenge on everybody, and we're gonna show it. And it's
Yep.
yeah,
And then the player Olivia Simmons, the
yeah.
freshman. I
Oh,
mean, she's just was on another level. So,
really?
hmm,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So she has 3 more years. So.
Yeah. 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 Maybe she'll get in the portal. No, I
I
don't
don't think
wish that. I
many
don't wish
people. I
that. I
don't think
take
many
that one
people
back.
leave. I don't
Yeah.
think many people leave WashU.
Yeah. Yeah. I take that one back. I take that one back. All right. Last question for you.
Yeah.
I open this up. Could be whatever it is. Whatever the answer is the answer. It doesn't have to be Division 3. It doesn't have to be your program. Whatever it can be, but it doesn't have to be. What's What's the one thing we are not talking about that we should be in soccer?
Oh gosh.
I'm like really just throwing you for like.
Um. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think the youth system has been in question for a while
Yeah.
with GA, ECNL, and all of that. I think it's just tough. I get it, like what they're trying to do, and but it is making it difficult to probably develop players as a whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because players are getting pulled in different directions, they're changing whatever, and they're like, "This league isn't good enough. I need to go over here." When in reality, I mean, if you're a good player, coaches are gonna find you no matter what league you're in. Uh, I wish there was some way they could merge together and be one,
Yeah.
like it kind of used to be. I get it's a business and people have to make decisions and
Yeah.
all that, but it does, I think, maybe water down competition a little bit. Where kind of growing up previously, it was kind of like, all right, you have the youth national
Yeah.
overlying league that you had to be a state champion, then you went to regionals, then you went to
Yeah.
nationals. Now there's six different national championships,
Yeah.
and so maybe that, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of the first thing that came to my mind. Um, yeah, I
It's
don't.
not wrong. Like I'll just say, it is not wrong. Speaking of national championships, I just found out a team I know, and they won a national championship. I'm like, they won a national like,
Yeah,
excuse me? Like
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Like what is this? Like I'm
I-
not sure that's a thing, you know? Well, I guess it is.
yeah.
You know. The I mean, I don't know. Do you coach outside of do you do
No, I did.
yeah,
And when I became the head coach, I kind of stopped.
stop, yeah.
So I do coach with the USL 2 team
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
during the summer,
Yeah.
which is right in Newport News, and we play
Yeah.
at Christopher Newport, which is great.
Yeah.
It's called Lionsbridge.
Uh-huh.
And we've made playoffs this year, so I do that during the
Yeah.
summer. But other than that, it's yeah, just strictly here.
Yeah. What do you? I'm not going to stop asking questions because now I just got another one that's totally unrelated to Christopher Newport. So, well, maybe not. But what do you? What are your impressions of the USL and
Yeah,
I'll just say structure, how the quality of play and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing on the women's side,
Mm-hmm.
having the W League and then now the Super League, and I think that's great. I think there needs to be more opportunity,
Yeah.
especially for females,
Oh yeah.
uh, and that's definitely growing. We've had more players in the last couple summers play on teams,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And the same thing on the men's side. I think it is starting to become more of a stable and
Mm-hmm.
in a good environment. So, and also gives more opportunities
Yeah.
for players because they can still develop and kind of go through it.
Yeah.
So, I think it's in the going in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just more ways to play. Like I think that's the biggest benefit to all of this, however you want to structure it. Like it wasn't that easy to play in the summer when I was playing. When
No,
I was in college. Like, what do you do for the summer? You find a local team, and you're playing some sort of summer league. Like it wasn't anything spectacular, but just to play, right? Because
yeah, yeah.
and forget the training part, right? Like it was just that was on
That's
the
all you could
side.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all
yeah,
you could
yeah,
do. And
yeah,
if you were in a place that had a team,
yeah.
you were lucky.
You were lucky, yeah, yeah. And yeah,
I
forget
mean,
money, right? Forget
yeah,
about money because
yeah,
there was none.
yeah.
There were free T-shirts, cotton T-shirts, white, gray, maybe red if you were
Yep.
lucky. So, um, all right, Coach. Hey, this was fantastic as always. Loved
Cool.
catching up.
Yeah,
I do appreciate it. Um, like I mentioned before, like I'm gonna try to make it down at some point this
cool.
fall.
Yeah,
Would
let me
love
know.
to check you guys out. Watch a game. I am digging the wait, which hang on. I am digging this weekend that when you do have Case and Ohio Wesleyan, that looks very very intriguing.
That's up
I
your
will
way.
say,
So,
yeah. So I might have to go visit my son for like a whole 5 minutes and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I gotta run now.
well, that's up in Ohio, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's in Ohio.
Yeah.
I thought that was at you.
No, no, no. So that's our
Oh,
trip. So we go up to there. We're actually
yeah.
both games are at Ohio Wesleyan.
Well, I'm glad because I would have ended up there and
Yeah.
nobody like, where's everybody? Like, you guys are in
You could
Ohio.
have watched our men's team. I think they play that weekend at home.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
the Mary Hardin Bale or Mount
yeah,
St. Joseph
that
looks like a
that'd
killer
be a good
weekend.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a
Yeah.
killer weekend. My calendar's already getting full. All right, Coach. Thank you very much. As
Cool.
always, do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wish you and your ladies the best.
Thank you.
And we'll be obviously watching. So,
Cool.
all right.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.